So you want to start PvPing in Guild Wars 2. Perhaps you heard about the fluidity of the combat or the tournaments in the game, or perhaps you heard about the high skill ceiling players and you are looking to bask in the glory and make a name for yourself as a legend. Then you've come to the right place. This is going to be a guide to get you started on Guild Wars 2 PvP, so let's get straight into it. First off, you can start PvP right after you finish the tutorial, so once you hit level 2, you can begin. A little secret Easter egg among PvPers is that you can actually skip the tutorial and get straight into PvP, but I won't get into that here. Once you are into PvP, all stats are equalized, so you can have all level 1 gear and weapons and they will function as max level weapons and gear. Each game mode is balanced separately, and structured PvP is the most balanced and least power creeped of the 3 game modes in Guild Wars 2. In PvP, you will want a build. Your PvE build isn't going to work. In PvP, you need some sustain and stun breaks. You can get a decent build from Meta Battle, which a lot of people don't recommend Meta Battle. However, Meta Battle is about 90% correct with their builds, and that is more than good enough to get you started. But I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, screw meta slaves, I want to make my own fun, and that is a completely fine sentiment to have. PvP is in a state where back in the day there was a competitive pro scene with $100,000 tournaments, but that was back in like 2016, and the player base nowadays, while there are still a small amount of highly skilled players, I would argue that most people playing PvP are just there for some casual fun. With balance patches happening generally every 3 months, and there being 9 classes with 3 elite specializations for each class, there is nearly an infinite amount of theory crafting that can be done. You really only need the meta if you A, want your best chance, or B, want to function at the highest level. This is true for all 3 game modes. If you are looking to have fun, build theory crafting is viable for every game mode. If we are going back to the glory part, perhaps you can create the next meta-changing build in PvP and gain great glory. Your build is going to consist of the weapon and weapon sigils, which are essentially buffs that enhance your weapon / build. Then you'll need utility skills, an amulet, and 3 trait lines. Once you have your build set up, ideally you want to set up good key bindings. I can make a video on this in the future, but for now I will leave this to your own discretion. Along with key bindings, you are going to want to change a couple of settings. You will want to change your field of view to the maximum so you can see more of your surroundings on your screen. If you keep this at the default, you will be at a disadvantage. You will also want to disable camera shake. Camera shake will make it hard to see what is going on. Then double tap to evade will make you possibly misinput your evade skill. Just using the default V key will suffice, but you can change this at your own discretion. I will also give a secret bonus tip. For high level players, they will turn instant cast ground targeting on, which makes it where instead of there being an AoE circle, you instantly cast the AoE ability. If you combine this with allow skill retargeting, then you are able to retarget certain abilities in real time. Once you open up the PvP menu, you are left with ranked and unranked, which I think explain themselves. There is 2 game modes that are available, which consist of Stronghold and Conquest. Basically everyone plays Conquest, and if you queue up for Stronghold only, you probably won't find a match. However, not all is lost. There are PvP seasons, which the main season you will only be able to queue Conquest and Stronghold. In the off season, the game cycles between 2v2 and 3v3. There is also a beta game mode called Push, which is basically a team deathmatch with an objective to push a node, similar to something like Overwatch. I suspect this game mode will release later this year, but I'm not 100% on that. To queue ranked, you need to be PvP level 20, so you will need to queue in unranked until you are rank 20. The ranks in this game consist of bronze, silver, gold, platinum, and legend as the highest rank. However, due to the population being lower, the legend rank isn't really feasible to get by normal means anymore. In the main game mode, there are 3 objectives. They are referred to as the mid node, which is where a lot of team fights will happen, and the 2 side nodes, which is where 1v1s and 2v2s will happen. Every node ticked for your team is worth 1 point, and they tick every 2 seconds. So the max you can do is 3 points every 2 seconds for your team. First to 500 wins. Each map also has special objectives to add some extra depth to the game mode, which this game mode can get extremely complex, with the most complex map being Temple of the Silent Storm, which spawns 2 objectives, essentially having your team fight over 5 nodes. In terms of tournaments, there are 4 daily tournaments, one for the main times of your region and one that is for an off time like the Oceanic server. Then there is a weekly tournament, a monthly 3v3 and 2v2 tournament, a regular monthly tournament for the Conquest game mode, and every 6 months there is a tournament of legends. Winning that will net you a legendary weapon of your choice. The main appeal for most of the tournaments is the reward. Tons of gold, gizmos, legendaries, and glory, etc, etc. Finally, I'll give you some reasons on why you should PvP. The Astral Reward dailies are fairly easy to get. You can generally complete this in 1 match, which takes about 10 to 15 minutes, and even the weekly can be done in around 10 matches. The Astral Rewards are really good. Combine that with the reward tracks, and for ranked specifically, there are chests that give gold, tickets, and Grandmaster marks that can be used to buy Ascended armor. There are also legendary PvP armor sets, an amulet, and a backpack. These are going to require you to PvP a lot though. Basically, the rewards for PvP are pretty great, and they really do scale with your skill. A top-end PvPer that actively plays is not hurting for gold. So if a high-end PvPer is asking for gold, do not donate. The second thing is titles. In PvP, there are titles for the ranked season, which consist of top 250, top 100, 25, 10, 3, 2, and rank 1. Once you get into the higher ranked titles, a lot of fishy things tend to go on, but I won't get into that. There are also class specific titles, PvP level specific titles, and a colored pink title once you've won 10,000 ranked matches. On top of that, there are titles for winning monthly tournaments, and titles that you can get for just placing high in multiple monthly tournaments, along with gizmos, which are just cool floaty things above the players' heads. If you do win a monthly tournament, you will also get a statue for everyone to see in the PvP lobby. Overall, PvP is a well fleshed out game mode that is great fun for both casuals and hardcore players alike. I think nowadays there is a decent balanced developer team at ArenaNet, and with the push game mode coming out, now is a great time to jump into PvP. That'll about do it from me, so I'll see you all in the mists, soldiers.